Over 90% of people over 60 take vitamin D3, hoping to strengthen their bones. But did you know the very D3 you take each day could be silently contributing to hardened arteries, increasing your risk of stroke and heart attack? Sounds impossible, doesn't it? Your bones are thinning, yet your arteries are overflowing with calcium. Why isn't the calcium going into your bones? Why is it ending up in your heart? This is what's known as the calcium paradox, and it's happening quietly inside millions of older adults. What's even more alarming is that the very people who are diligent about taking calcium and D3 are often the ones most affected. The real issue isn't a lack of calcium. It's the lack of another vitamin, vitamin K2, the silent guide that directs calcium into the bones instead of letting it drift into the arteries. In today's video, we'll expose this common misunderstanding, reveal how the French managed to eat rich foods, yet stay healthy, and most importantly, give you the correct formula to protect your bones and arteries after 60. Where are you watching from? If you've been taking D3 without ever knowing about vitamin K2 type, check in the comments below. I'll read and respond to every comment. Because after 60, good health can't depend on old beliefs. It must come from the right knowledge at the right time. And that time is now. You drink milk every day. You take calcium supplements. You follow your doctor's advice and take vitamin D3 regularly. But your knees still ache, your back keeps hunching, and every step feels heavier than the last. Then one day, your scan reveals plaque building up in your arteries. You're confused. How can you be doing everything right for your bones, yet your heart is now at risk? Here's the truth that shocks many people over 60. It's not a lack of calcium. The calcium is there, but it's going to the wrong places. This is the calcium paradox. Your bones are losing density, yet your arteries are hardening with calcium buildup. This is incredibly common in postmenopausal women, and increasingly in men over 60. What's causing it? When you take vitamin D3, your body absorbs up to 20 times more calcium. But without vitamin K2, that calcium drifts aimlessly in your bloodstream, sticking to places it shouldn't be: your arteries, joints, eyes, even your kidneys. K2 is the guide. It drives calcium into the bones and clears it from dangerous zones. Many believe more D3 is always better, but the hidden danger is a lack of K2. That's the real reason so many older adults suffer from both weak bones and clogged arteries. Calcium only helps when it goes where it should. If not, it becomes a silent threat. Imagine pouring water into a cup with a hole in the bottom. That's your body on D3 without K2. The bones get nothing, while your heart and joints drown in the excess. But don't worry if you've been taking D3. The fix is simple. Just add the right amount of K2, about 100 micrograms of MK7 for every 10,000 IU of D3. It's a small shift that could protect your bones and your heart after 60. Have you ever heard of K2 before? If your doctor's never mentioned it, type check in the comments. I'll read and respond to every comment. Because after 60, good health can't rely on old beliefs. It must come from the right knowledge at the right time. Have you always believed that fat is the #1 enemy of your heart? That after turning 60, the less fat you eat, the safer you'll be? If so, you're not alone. An entire generation grew up with the message, low fat, live long. But now, science is starting to say the opposite. And what you truly need might be hidden in the very rich, fatty foods you've been avoiding for years. The truth is, many older adults are dangerously low in a vital vitamin K2 simply because they've eliminated traditional fatty foods like aged cheese, egg yolks, liver, or fermented butter. These foods were staples in our parents' kitchens but have vanished from modern diets due to fear of cholesterol. But what if I told you those very foods, when eaten properly, could be the key to keeping calcium out of your arteries and putting it back into your bones? The French, known for their rich diets full of butter, liver, and cheese, actually have significantly lower rates of heart disease. Their secret: a steady intake of vitamin K2 from these traditional sources. Something modern American seniors are sadly missing. You don't need to overindulge in fatty foods, but cutting out all natural fats only worsens K2 deficiency. This is especially dangerous after 60, when bones are weakening and arteries are becoming stiff. If you've been avoiding fat, choosing only fat-free foods, it's time to rethink. Don't let yourself fall into the trap of being lean but calcified, a condition silently creeping into the lives of many seniors. So, how can you get enough K2 without fearing cholesterol? Start simple. 2 to 3 times a week, add a bit of chicken liver, aged cheese the natural kind, or egg yolks from pasture-raised hens to your meals. If you dislike fatty foods, consider a high-quality supplement with vitamin K2 and MK7 form at 100 to 200 mcg per day, taken with meals for better absorption. Are you eating too clean and forgetting the traditional fats your body still needs? If you once thought fat was always the enemy, type "I used to" in the comments. I'll personally respond and share more about eating smart without fear to protect both heart and bone. You thought fat was the problem. Wait until you hear about the everyday breakfast food that could be the #1 culprit destroying your joints. Don't miss what's coming next. Every morning, you pour a bit of cereal into a bowl, add low-fat milk, and feel like you're making a healthy choice. But what if that very bowl is slowly weakening your bones day by day? And not just your bones. It could be sabotaging your vitamin K2, the nutrient your body desperately needs to prevent arterial calcification. Breakfast cereals, the crispy, colorful, boxed kind, are often marketed as high fiber and heart-friendly, especially for older adults. But the truth is, most are packed with hidden sugars and refined carbohydrates that spike insulin levels soon after eating. And that spike doesn't just affect blood sugar, it interferes with how your body uses K2. Did you know that high insulin can reduce the activity of a protein called osteocalcin, the very protein K2 relies on to move calcium into your bones? That means even if you're taking D3 and K2 daily, if your breakfast keeps your blood sugar unstable, the calcium will still wander in your bloodstream instead of strengthening your bones. Why is this especially dangerous after 60 hours? Because insulin function weakens with age and bone renewal slows down. If you repeat this sweet breakfast day after day, not only will you lack real energy, but you'll accelerate calcium buildup in your arteries, the silent damage many seniors face without knowing why. But the solution isn't to skip breakfast. It's to switch smartly. Replace your cereal with a boiled egg, sugar-free whole grain toast, or oatmeal cooked with an egg yolk. These choices help regulate blood sugar and allow your body to absorb vitamin K2 more effectively. Some people even report fewer sugar cravings later in the day after making this switch. Many think cutting out obvious sugar is enough, but hidden sugars in healthy foods are more dangerous. And breakfast sets the tone for your entire day. If the first step is wrong, it's hard to balance the rest. Have you been eating cereal every morning? Ever feel that midday crash or dull headache creeping in? Type "What's your breakfast?" in the comments and tell me what you're eating. I'll suggest a better version for you. You think cereal is harmless? Wait until you hear about the morning beverage that many seniors sip daily thinking it's healthy, but it could be fast-tracking calcium into your arteries. Don't miss what's next. Every morning, do you reach for a glass of orange juice? It looks bright, tastes refreshing, and you believe you're starting your day with a boost of vitamin C. But here's something few people talk about. That morning glass of boxed orange juice might be sabotaging your arteries and blocking the function of vitamin K2 in your body. Even boxed juice labeled no sugar added often has a very high glycemic index. Drinking it causes a rapid spike in blood sugar, forcing insulin to kick into overdrive. As mentioned in the previous section, elevated insulin levels suppress osteocalcin, the protein K2 needs to move calcium into your bones. It doesn't stop there. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that daily fruit juice consumption can raise the risk of arterial thickening in older adults comparable to drinking soda. You might say, I only drink a small glass in the morning. But for someone over 60, even one glass a day over the years is enough to quietly trigger a damaging chain reaction: unstable insulin, inactive osteocalcin. K2 can't deliver calcium. Calcium stays in the blood, hardens the arteries. This becomes even more dangerous for those already taking D3 and K2 supplements but seeing no improvement. They think they're doing everything right, not realizing that a simple glass of juice is breaking the entire process. So what's the fix? You don't have to give up vitamin C. Just change your source. Choose fresh oranges you can eat whole with the fiber, or go for kiwi, strawberries, or dilute lemon water with no added sugar. These alternatives offer the same benefits without disrupting insulin or K2 function. If you used to believe orange juice was a must-have part of a healthy breakfast, type "I used to" in the comments. I'll share better options to help you protect your bones and arteries in the long run. Surprised about orange juice? Then try guessing this one common leafy vegetable found in most salads, considered a superfood, may actually block your body's ability to absorb K2. What's coming next will definitely surprise you. After turning 60, many people start eating cleaner and add more greens to their meals. And almost everyone believes that spinach is a superfood. But here's something few people realize. Eating too much spinach every day might actually be locking away your vitamin K2 and preventing calcium from reaching your bones. Spinach is loaded with oxalates, a natural acid that binds to calcium in your gut, forming an insoluble compound. When this happens, calcium can't be absorbed into your bloodstream and K2 has nothing to transport because the raw material is gone. It gets worse. Oxalates not only block calcium absorption, they can also accumulate and form kidney stones, a serious risk for older adults who often drink less water and have slower metabolism. Imagine this: you're diligently eating healthy, taking your D3 and K2 supplements every day, yet your bones still feel weak. The aches persist. Nothing improves. If you're eating 2 to 3 cups of spinach daily, especially raw or lightly cooked, the oxalate content remains high. Your body can't keep up, and calcium absorption becomes nearly impossible. So what's the solution? You don't need to cut out spinach entirely. Just change the preparation and adjust your portions. Cook it thoroughly, steam longer. Sauté at high heat to significantly reduce oxalate levels. Also, rotate your greens with low oxalate options like kale, bok choy, or broccoli. For better calcium absorption, try taking your calcium supplements a couple hours after meals that include spinach. This simple adjustment can make a real difference for adults over 60. Now think back. How often do you eat spinach each week? Do you feel lingering back pain or notice no progress even with supplements? If that sounds familiar, type spinach in the comments, and I'll help you adjust your diet in a safer way. And if you found this tip helpful, please hit like so YouTube shows it to others facing the same issue. Subscribe to this channel so I can continue walking this journey with you. Each video is a piece of the puzzle to help you live healthier, longer, and more fully after 60s. You thought leafy greens were always good. Then wait till you hear about a popular cooking oil, often labeled heart-friendly, that could be destroying the fats your body needs to absorb D3 and K2. That's coming next. You may not realize it, but the cooking oil you use every day could be the reason why your D3 and K2 aren't working as they should. And the biggest troublemaker, sunflower oil. Many older adults believe that vegetable oils are a light, heart-friendly choice. The labels say no cholesterol and rich in vitamin E. But behind that healthy image is a dangerously high level of omega-6 fatty acids, the kind that triggers inflammation when out of balance with omega-3. Here's the problem. Especially after age 60, when your body is silently inflamed from excessive omega-6, your ability to convert vitamin D3 into its active form is disrupted. At the same time, K2 struggles to do its job of transporting calcium because inflammation damages the enzymes that help it work. Just imagine you're eating clean, taking your D3 and K2 supplements regularly, yet your arteries keep stiffening, your joints ache, and that low-grade fatigue never seems to go away. The real culprit might be the oil you use to stir-fry your greens or cook your eggs each day. Take the real story of Linda, 67. She took her vitamins daily, ate lots of veggies, and did gentle exercises every morning. But her blood markers for calcium and inflammation kept worsening. It wasn't until her daughter replaced all the sunflower oil in her kitchen with cold-pressed extra virgin olive oil and added omega-3 from salmon twice a week that her inflammation dropped, her sleep improved, and her knee pain began to ease. So what should you do? Read your oil labels carefully if they say sunflower oil, soybean oil, or corn oil. Consider cutting back. Switch to extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, or even coconut oil for high-heat cooking. Add more omega-3s from fatty fish, chia seeds, or flaxseed oil to balance the equation. If you once believed all vegetable oils were heart-healthy, comment oil below. I'll send you a list of the most D3 and K2 friendly oils to use. You've heard about oils, juices, leafy greens, but there's something else, a common medication found in most seniors' cabinets that could be silently blocking K2's effects. And chances are, you're taking it every day without knowing. You take your D3 and K2 supplements every day. Eat right. Avoid fried foods, yet your arteries keep thickening, your bones still feel weak, and your calcium levels remain off balance. The reason could be sitting in your pill box every morning a medication prescribed to millions of older adults, warfarin. Warfarin, also known as Coumadin, is a widely used blood thinner, often prescribed to people at risk of stroke, heart issues, or atrial fibrillation. But very few people know this. Warfarin works by blocking vitamin K, and that includes vitamin K2, the very nutrient you're taking to protect your bones and arteries. In other words, while you're investing time and money into D3 and K2, one small pill of warfarin might be silently shutting down the entire process. What happens then? Calcium doesn't reach your bones instead. It begins building up in your arteries. Over time, this leads to calcified blood vessels, high blood pressure, and an increased risk of heart attacks, the exact thing you were trying to avoid. Take Margaret, 72, from Kansas. She had severe osteoporosis and a history of atrial fibrillation. Her doctor prescribed warfarin, and she continued taking D3 and K2, but her calcium levels grew more unstable. After switching under her specialist's guidance to a newer generation blood thinner that doesn't block K2 like Eliquis or Xarelto, her bone density began to improve within 3 months. She also noticed less knee pain when climbing stairs. So if you're on warfarin, what should you do? Never stop on your own. But talk to your doctor and ask if a non-K2 blocking alternative might be right for you. Medications like Eliquis or Xarelto are often better tolerated and don't interfere with vitamin K2. Not sure what you're taking? Look at your prescription label or comment K2 block, and I'll help you identify the medication and guide you with the right questions to ask your physician. Now you've seen how warfarin can quietly derail your efforts. But what about a popular beverage, one many older adults drink daily, that can quietly strip away your magnesium and leave your bones hollowing out over time? It's a small habit, one that seems harmless, just one can of soda a day after a meal. But if you're over 60 and taking D3 and K2 supplements, that little can might be quietly weakening your bones. Sip by sip. Why? First, most sodas contain phosphoric acid, a sour additive used to enhance flavor. But this acid draws calcium out of your bones to help neutralize blood pH. Over time, this leads to what experts call calcium misplacement, like pulling bricks from your foundation just to weigh down the roof. Second, the high sugar content in soda, especially fructose, causes your body to flush out magnesium through the kidneys. And as you know, magnesium is essential for activating vitamin D3 and keeping your heartbeat steady. It gets worse. The caffeine in many sodas contributes to dehydration and disrupts absorption of fat-soluble vitamins like D3 and K2. In short, just one can of soda each day could be silently undoing the work of your entire supplement routine. David, 71, from Florida, never smoked or drank alcohol. He ate healthy, walked regularly, but he had one long-standing habit of Diet Coke every afternoon. After 15 years, he was diagnosed with osteoporosis, despite taking all the right vitamins. The only unusual item in his diet, that soda, once David gave it up, replaced it with herbal teas and green juices, and added a light morning walk. His bone density began to improve slightly within 6 months, and his back pain lessened each morning. So if you or a loved one are still drinking soda, even the sugar-free kind, reconsider. The damage doesn't appear right away, but it gradually robs you of recovery. Ever thought, it's just one can, it can't hurt? Comment soda below, and I'll send you a list of healthy alternatives that boost D3 and K2 absorption without silently draining your bones. We've just gone through 8 silent factors that may be quietly blocking the effectiveness of D3 and K2 in your body. From magnesium deficiency and digestive issues to statins, cooking oils, and even that daily soda things that seem small but gradually wear down your health. Not because you did anything wrong, but because no one ever told you. But you know what? It's never too late to take back your strength. You don't need to change everything overnight. Just understanding what's truly happening inside your body and realizing that it's not your fault is already a powerful step forward. Many people over 60 have shared, "I eat well, I take my meds on time, but my health doesn't improve." If you've ever felt that way, please don't be discouraged. You're not alone, and the answers you need aren't far away. If today's video helped you understand even one thing better, please consider hitting like to help this message reach others too. Where are you watching from? If you've ever felt like your supplements just weren't working, comment "I feel this." I'll personally read and reply to every single one. And if you'd like to support our channel to keep making heartfelt content like this, you can send a small coffee through the donate button below, only if it feels right to you. Because sometimes getting better isn't about adding more. It's about removing the thing that's quietly holding you back. And when you finally do, your body will begin to heal gently, quietly, in ways you never expected.